Welcome back to another episode of Cooking with Steve.
And Sophie.
Sophie, what are we cooking today?
Take 5.
Yeah, the candy bar, Take 5. I'm told by a coworker that you can only get the little bite-sized ones this time of year around Halloween. So since we just crossed the Halloween threshold, your opportunity to buy these in the store is shrinking. But we're going to learn how to make them. Will we use the oven?
No!
So are we actually cooking anything?
No, it's refrigerating.
Yes, we're refrigerating with Steve.
And Sophie.
Here's the recipe that we're working with. Here's what you'll need. Cooking spray, pretzel snaps, peanut butter, butter, it's upside down, powdered sugar, salt, dry roasted peanuts, caramel squares, whole milk, chocolate chips, and coconut oil. You're also going to need a few things for measuring and mixing, like measuring cups and some tongs, some parchment or wax paper, a whisk, a spatula, a couple bowls, and an 8x8 pan. For this recipe, you're gonna need some space in the refrigerator, so make sure that you scoot things around and you're ready for inserting things inside later. Wash hands. First, you're gonna grease your baking pan, then you're gonna put your wax paper or parchment over it, and you wanna leave enough so that it hangs over both sides a couple inches. And then you want to spray on top of the wax paper or parchment paper so that you've got spray, wax paper or parchment, and then more spray.
Next, line the bottom of your pan with pretzels.
Take your time.
Thank you.
So you might realize that you have a little bit of extra space left over in your pan, but not quite enough for an entire pretzel snap. Then just snap your pretzel and wind up with a partial. And that way you fill the whole bottom of it, even if you're just using pieces. We just need pieces. So. Come on, pretzels. Boop. Next, you're going to use your microwave-safe bowl, and we're going to warm up some ingredients. The peanut butter, pinch of salt, the butter, and the powdered sugar. So let's measure those out. We'll warm them up. I'll figure out how long it takes in our microwave. Yours should be similar. And then we'll end up putting that over top of the layer of pretzels we just made. Whew, this is messy. I'm using a butter knife to get the peanut butter into my measuring cup. You might also have a small spatula. I gotta get 3 of these since I need 3/4 of a cup, but I'm using a 1/4 cup measuring cup right now. Seems about right. Okay, there's my peanut butter.
1/4 a cup of unsalted room temperature butter.
Boop.
And 1/2 a cup of powdered sugar.
Plus, we're gonna need a large pinch of salt. The bowl that we use to put everything in is a little bit small. You might like to use a bigger one because we're gonna have to stir it later. We're using an older 700-watt microwave. So if you have a newer microwave with higher wattage, your timing will probably be less. I'm gonna start with 2 minutes. Let's see how that goes. Okay, so we had our first oops moment. We should have mixed together the butter and the peanut butter, microwaving them and then mixing them together first before we added those dry ingredients into it. That was my fault, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So when you're doing your treats, then you're gonna want to melt the peanut butter and the butter at first, then add the dry stuff afterwards. Hopefully we don't have a huge mess on our hands. We'll find out in a minute. We're ready to stir all together here since our peanut butter and our butter are melted. Ooh, the bowl is hot. And our powdered sugar is inside here. It smells really good. Can you smell that?
Mm-mm-mm.
And our goal at this point is that we want it to be smooth, which, you know, I had originally thought about using the chunky peanut butter instead of, I guess they call it crunchy. I think of it as chunky, instead of the smooth, but the recipe called for the smooth peanut butter. Does that look good to you? Does that look like we've mixed that around enough? What do you guys think?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay. They're nodding their heads, but they're off camera, so you can't see them. Okay, so now that this is mixed up, then I'm supposed to pour it over the pretzels in the baking pan. So let's set my whisk aside, and then let's do some pouring. Sophie, you wanna help? Oh, well, the bowl is hot, so we gotta be pretty careful.
I'll do the spreading.
Okay, you'll do the spreading. Well, then I'll do the... Boy, that's hot. I don't know if I really want to touch that. You ready? Here we go. Too hot to touch!
Towel?
Oh my gosh, it's hot. Oh, that's better. Thank you. Okay.
Life lessons with Steve.
You want to scoop some? Scoop that. Mix it a little, if we can. Just a tiny bit of powdered sugar that didn't get mixed in. And then scoop that on out of there. Awesome. Okay. Do we need to spread it a little in the pan?
Yeah.
What do you think?
Just a little bit. Get some places that... Let's get the places that haven't been loved. Show them what it's like to be drowned.
We do have a little bit of inconsistency. I think maybe I could have whisked that around a tiny bit better. But that means, I guess, somebody's going to get one of these bites that will have a little bit more powdered sugar than somebody else. Hopefully, it will still taste good. Okay. All right, let's get some dry roasted peanuts on top of here. We need 3/4 of a cup. I'm using a 1/4 measuring cup, so I'll get 3 of these. And we want to sprinkle these over so that they're spread around, kind of dispersed, so they're not all in one spot. There's one. Oh, come out of there. Okay, there's 2. Okay, that was almost perfectly 3/4 of a cup of dry roasted peanuts. Looking good!
We're gonna refrigerate this for about 20 minutes, and while that's in the fridge, we're gonna go ahead and unwrap the caramels.
Okay, so I'm going to get some paper towels to lay down on the counter. I cleaned the counter before we started just to make sure that we had a clean space. But since we're opening the caramels out of their individual wrappers, then I want to put them onto a nice surface like a paper towel. You could use a paper plate or something else. And I'm not sure how sticky they're going to be, so I also don't want more stickiness on my counter. But let's go ahead and start opening these up.
This makes me sad.
Why does it make you sad?
Because I can't have it.
Yeah. Sophie has braces, so we're going to make a portion of this recipe friendly for people who are getting braces on their teeth.
I mean, it'll still be good. It's going to be chocolate and
Yeah.
peanuts and pretzels.
I think it'll still be really good. Yeah, absolutely. You're a lot faster at this than I am.
Yeah, well,
You've-
I
you've
ate a
done,
lot
like-
more candy than you. It's just been Halloween, so of course I've been unwrapping a lot.
That's the reason why you're faster, because you're just practiced at eating candy?
Yep.
Okay.
Whoop.
Oh, hey, do we need to get rid of that one?
Nope.
Okay.
It's
All
all
right.
good.
It's all good. Oh, that one we have to get rid of.
This one was pre-opened.
Oh no, if it was pre-opened, it's no good.
Yep.
No good. Okay.
That explains the extra wrapper.
There was just an extra wrapper inside of the package?
Yeah.
Wow. The recipe called for a specific amount of caramels. Let me see what it says here. Caramels. 11-ounce bag. It said an 11-ounce bag. Thankfully, that was exactly what I found. So, you know, it's the right time of year to be buying caramels because people are doing other things too, like making caramel apples or making candies like we are. And this bag just coincidentally was the right size for our recipe. If you can't find the exact right size from what you're looking for, that's okay. It'll still taste good. Of course, I haven't actually eaten this recipe before, so I'm assuming it'll still taste good.
Hopefully. Hopefully something bad did not happen.
Yeah.
Like our refrigerator stops working.
Yeah.
Because we're not baking, we're refrigerating. New. Speed run. New.
You're so fast!
Oh!
There went the special chef's hat.
New. You're slow.
Yeah. My fingers don't want to get these open.
You've only done like 5.
Uh-huh. I don't necessarily feel bad about not being good at opening candy, though. There are other things in life I'm good at. Like eating the candy. I just need somebody else to open it for me. And we still have like 15 minutes before we're even going to use these. Boy, that one's stuck. They don't seem to be super sticky. Like, are your fingers getting sticky?
No.
No? Okay. Not so much mine either. The package on that one came apart, so you want to be pretty careful not to leave any of the wrapper behind, because that would not be fun to find when you were biting into your treat, when everything comes together at the end.
That reminds me of a story.
What?
We were making peanut butter fudge with Grandma.
Okay.
So excited.
A grandma fudge story.
And so we had to put it in the microwave and we were stirring it. You know, with
You were stirring the microwave?
No. We were stirring the mixture with
Oh.
a normal spatula, but we had to keep
Yes.
on putting it in.
Oh,
Later
yeah.
on, we realized that the spatula kept on getting smaller
What?
and smaller.
No.
It melted off, and so when it...
So you had pieces of spatula in your recipe?
Right, so when it was all done
Ugh.
and we were cutting it up, we found a chunk of spatula because...
You still ate it?
Yeah.
Yeah, because if here's like the part that mixes, and then here's this handle, then it just like kind of slowly melted off.
Yeah. Note to self, don't eat spatulas. Second note to self, don't eat grandma's fudge. Was it good fudge?
It was really good.
It was so good that it was even worth having to eat part of a spatula. That's a terrible story.
It was really good though. I would definitely make it again, but not with a plastic spatula.
Okay, well we've got all of our caramels unwrapped now. That probably just took us about 4 minutes. No big deal.
It took me 4 minutes.
Yes. So if you're working at Steve's speed, give yourself more time. If you're working at Sophie's speed, no problem.
Or you can just plan ahead of time, do it at Halloween, and unwrap all your candies. And then you have to eat them, because what are you going to do with them?
Then you have to eat them because they've been unwrapped, right? Yeah, okay. So these are going to just rest here. We can clean up the trash from all the wrappers that we just did. And we still have almost 15 minutes of refrigeration left before our next step. So we'll see you in 15 minutes. I went ahead and put the caramels into a microwave safe bowl. I guess we could have used that instead of the paper towels earlier, but it didn't hurt. We're going to melt these in the microwave. The recipe doesn't tell us how long to do it, but our goal is to make it smooth and pourable. So I'm thinking I'm gonna start with just hitting in 1 minute increments and see what happens. Remember, all of this heating of the caramels to get them smooth and pourable is taking place during the end of when the rest of it is in the refrigerator. Let's see how the caramels look. Nope. After 1 minute, they look exactly the same. Let's go again. 2, 1. Ah! Oh yeah, it's getting closer. Oh man, that smells nice. Okay, it's not pourable yet, but after a couple minutes, you can see part of it melted. Part of it's pretty melty, but some of it's not quite yet. I'm gonna go another 30 seconds instead of another minute. So I didn't go the full 30 seconds because I smelled it and it started to smell like it might burn. It didn't burn yet, but the smell just barely started changing from, oh, that's nice caramel, to, uh-oh, wait, something might be happening here. Bring the milk on over here if you would, please, Sophie. Okay, so for our milk, we need to add 2 tablespoons. I've got 1 tablespoon here, so this is whole milk that we're putting in. You want to do it? Or you want me to do it? Oh, okay, all right. We're gonna add 2 tablespoons of whole milk, and then we're gonna stir to combine the 2. There's 1, and there's 2. All right, now we need to stir. And it might not quite be pourable enough. I don't know if I have to go again. I just really don't want to burn the caramel. Let's put this in the microwave for like 10 seconds. This is way smoother.
Drizzle.
Okay, I'm supposed to drizzle it onto the thing in the refrigerator? Okay, so I'm gonna get that out of the fridge. Excuse me, please, cameraman. All right, and I'm gonna need that towel because it's hot. Oh, I remembered. Thank you for reminding me, though. Sophie is reminding me that I'm only putting the caramel on part of the recipe instead of all of the recipe because I want to make sure that she can enjoy this treat also. There's a couple more peanuts I'm trying to drown in caramel. That might be it. I'm going to put this in the sink right away because it's going to be hard to wash. So the sooner I can get some liquid in there, hopefully it won't be impossible to wash later on. The next thing that I need to do is we're going to refrigerate what we had poured on here. But I want to mark my wax paper first. You might not need to do this. If you put the caramel over the entire thing, that won't really matter. But I'm going to I'm gonna put a little mark on this side to indicate that there's no caramel over here, and that way we'll know that that's gonna be easy access for the side so that Sophie can quickly identify which ones will be for her. Let's stick this in the fridge. The recipe says no more than 15 minutes. So I'm gonna start with 10 minutes and then check it and see how it looks. That'll do. All right, so we waited 10 minutes. The recipe said no more than 15. And I checked to see whether I could cut through it, and I can. We don't want it to be too firm yet, just enough that we can get a knife through it. I'm just using a regular butter knife. Our next step is to cut these treats into squares, and then we're gonna end up throwing them in the freezer for a half hour. So let's get to cutting. I'm trying to cut them bite-sized because that's what they will be. Also keeping in mind that they're going to have a layer of chocolate on them later. I might have been able to leave this in the fridge a little bit longer, but I didn't want it to get too hard. I don't know. We'll see how it turns out. Okay, I've made my cuts. So let me check my recipe here. That's all I gotta do. Put it in the freezer for 30 minutes. And we'll set a timer and wait for our treats. Woohoo! This is how Sophie spends her time waiting on things in the freezer. Anything good on TV?
Mm-hmm. A lot of good things.
30 minutes have gone by and now we're ready to check the freezer, see what we got. Ooh, look at that! Totally more solidified and it smells really good.
In a microwavable safe bowl, we're going to mix the chocolate and the coconut oil, and then we're gonna microwave it until it's nice and soft. Because we're using 1/2 measuring cup, we're going to need 3 of them so we can have 1 1/2 of a cup of dark chocolate chips.
There you go. We need 4.5 teaspoons of coconut oil. And this is brand new, so I'm actually not sure how it will open up. Oh, I was afraid of that. I gotta take the lid off here. Remember how quickly I could open up the caramels? One eternity later.
Do you want me to do it?
Maybe.
Else?
Oh my goodness. Okay, I got it. Cool. So, are you still rolling?
Yes.
Awesome. I need 4.5 of these. Well, my hands are clean. 1. 2.
Looks like Neosporin.
It feels like Neosporin. 3. 4, and I already had a little smidgen extra, so there's my half right there. Okay, 4.5. And then this is going to go into the microwave. Let's figure out how much from looking at our recipe. The recipe says just to do it until melted, so we don't actually know how long that's going to be. But I'm going to go in 1-minute increments and see how we're doing. Go. While the chocolate is melting in the microwave, I'm using the butter knife to go through the cuts that we made earlier because some of it started to come back together, and I really want to make sure these pieces are separated from each other. Let's check the microwave. We have some melting, but we're gonna have to go again. So let's go for another minute. Oh yeah, that's totally melted. That's looking good. So the next thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna dip each square into the chocolate to fully coat it, and then we're gonna arrange the bars onto our wax paper or parchment paper. You can do that on a baking sheet. We chose to do that on a couple plates because we thought that it would work better. And then we're gonna stick it into the refrigerator until the chocolate is firm. It says that might take about 20 minutes. So let's get to dipping. Get it all the way in there so it's totally covered in chocolate. Yeah.
Oh, it's melting it.
Let a tiny bit drip off and then set it aside. Boop. Perfect. Do it again. So we have just a little space in between the treats. There you go. These look really good. This is sort of a two-person job. Huh. Is your chocolate still running enough? Mm-hmm. Okay. If we need to reheat the chocolate, just let me know.
Okay.
I'm noticing something about the wax paper beneath our treats here, Sophie. When I cut through, it cut the paper, so I gotta be really careful not to have any of the wax paper come up with the treats when you're picking them up to dip them in the chocolate.
Yeah.
Because we do not want to be eating wax paper. I do
Or
not.
plastic.
I do not have a wax deficiency in my diet anymore. Is that the chocolate sound? Mm-hmm.
Drip, drip, drip. Okay, that plate is filled up.
Awesome. One more.
Bye, chocolate.
Here we go. Powdered sugar.
Powdered sugar. Maybe that just went under it.
Sneaky powdered sugar. It's like ninja sugar.
Have you ever just eaten powdered sugar before?
By itself?
Yes, it's so good.
I think it makes it hard to breathe. Like if you have a powdered sugar donut and then you inhale right when it's in front of you, that could kill you to death.
Yeah, but if you're not stupid, it can be delicious.
Burn! This is going in the freezer. And then we gotta wait a half hour. And then what happens next?
We can eat them.
Are you sure?
We can devour them.
Oh, that sounds like a better idea. 30 minutes later. Can I give you that, so?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Can I lick it?
Yeah, sure, babe.
It's been recording.
Still? Like even now?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. So the next thing that I want to do while we're leaving that in the freezer for a half hour is just make sure that we clean up, put everything away, make sure that your kitchen is nice and neat so that everybody else in the home can still enjoy a nice kitchen. And even if you live alone, you will enjoy having a nice clean kitchen. So we got some cleaning to do. And I'm sticky. Are you sticky, Sophie?
I licked it all off.
I licked it. She licked it all off. She's not sticky. Now we know the solution to the stickiness. Time to
Along
clean.
with what to do with the chocolate bowl.
Yeah. Well, we can share that with our cameraman, don't you think? Before we get into the freezer and enjoy our treats, I do want to say a special note of thanks to those who helped me make this video. My co-star, Sophie, and our cameraman, Simon. I wouldn't have been able to do it without you. I hope you like the treats. All right, we've waited for an eternity. How long was it?
10 hours.
It was 30 minutes. It felt like 10 hours, didn't it? So we know that we're ready to take these out of the freezer because they're solid, even sitting on top of the wax paper. You can see that they sit up just a little bit. So what we're gonna do is take them off of the wax paper and then put them in a container to keep them in the fridge. And plus we're gonna have to eat some of these too. Boy, that's like a monster candy. I think that's one giant one right there. Boy, this is messy. A little bit. Whew, man. Okay, so when you put these onto the wax paper to go into the freezer, you're gonna want to separate them apart from each other so that they're not all stuck in one giant blob. Okay. Whoa. It's just a really big one, I guess.
Wow, look at that size.
You going for it?
Yeah.
Go for it. What do you think? Did it turn out good?
Could use some caramel.
Aww. All right, let's see how this goes. Mmm, that's delicious. So, if you decide to make these yourself, be sure to let us know how it turned out, how you enjoyed it. Thank you for the request from those who watched Cooking with Steve last time, who were hoping that I might make a dessert food. Let me know if there's something else that you want for me to experiment with.
Please, because then we get to eat it.
I can't guarantee that it'll be very good, but at least I'll try. So be sure to leave a comment and let us know how it turned out for you. Thanks for watching Cooking with Steve.
And Sophie.